Being the greatest of all time doesn't mean you get $30 million. Being able to sell. John Jones has done a lot of things to himself. He's saying, in one of his tweets, he was saying that I tarnished I tarnished you? You've done a very good job of tarnishing you. No, I haven't done that. These guys, listen, if you don't want to fight, you don't have to fight. You know, it is what it is. I really don't care. I could care less, to be honest with you.
It's an exciting time to be a UFC fan, with so many major fights potentially on the horizon. UFC 270 has just wrapped up, and many called it one of the biggest events of the year, even though 2022 had only just begun. The main event featured a heavyweight title unification bout between Francis Ngannou and his former training partner.
What do you think about what John Jones is saying? Because John Jones, now, I am always on the side of I want fighters to get paid as much as possible. And John Jones is saying,
let me demystify this.
Please.
Is afraid? Yes, John Jones is afraid of Francis, and Francis is afraid of John Jones. Because if they would not be afraid, that means they don't care. Fighting, I'm sure it's important for them. Success is important for them. And when you put it all on the line, it's normal to be afraid. However, it has nothing to do with the fight. Are we gonna fight or not? Like they use that as a UFC used that as a tactic to make him accept the fight, and they did that for me for years. Being afraid or not being afraid, or it's not like in the schoolyard. We're not like in the
Cyril Gane. It was not the most spectacular fight, with both men maintaining a measured pace across all 5 rounds. In the end, the reigning champion showed his superiority and deservedly retained the title. So, what comes next? All eyes now turn to Johnny Bones Jones. UFC superstar John Jones had not stepped into the octagon for more than a year and a half. The American fighter had committed.
John Jones and I have always had this, you know. I'm always looking at what John Jones could have been, you know. He could have been the LeBron of the sport. He could have been literally that big. You know, the stuff that he's been through to show up and think he, you know, basically demand $15 million or $20 million or $30 million. It's crazy. So he can do whatever he wants to do. He can sit out, he can fight, he can whatever, you know. You know how this works. You guys know how I am. John Jones can say whatever he wants publicly. It's his God-given right here in America. He can say whatever he wants.
To moving up to heavyweight, but making that transition proved far more difficult than expected. Jones had also faced increasing criticism over his reluctance to reach an agreement with UFC President Dana White regarding his next fight. Everyone knows Jones's new promoter is a close friend of Dana White. Richard Schaefer, the former CEO of Golden Boy Promotions, is now reportedly representing him. Golden Boy is one of the biggest names in boxing, having worked with Bernard Hopkins, Juan Manuel Marquez, Canelo Alvarez, and many others.
Who gives a shit? Does anybody give a shit?
I guess they
You do? No, I don't give a shit what they think. Stop talking about me. What do you give a shit what I'm doing? Go do your thing.
After leaving Golden Boy, Schaefer successfully helped organize the World Boxing Super Series, so he clearly has plenty of experience in major events. When Schaefer was asked why he wanted Jones's contract, he said they have a major fight in mind, referring to a potential clash with Francis Ngannou. It is a fight fans everywhere want to see, and Schaefer believes his job is to make it happen for the MMA legend. Whether he can do that remains to be seen. The dispute between White and Jones has reached a point where the UFC president has not ruled out Jones leaving MMA altogether.
good, even though he's afraid, and he should be afraid. He's a scary guy who's about to fight. You know, regardless of how he feels, he will do the job. He will bite in his mouthpiece and do it, you know. But it doesn't matter if they're afraid or not. If the numbers is good, hopefully they will fight, and this fight will make history, you know, and hopefully it happens.
The biggest question is how much money Bones is demanding. Reports have mentioned $20 million, $30 million, and even $40 million. However, based on White's comments, he is nowhere near ready to offer that kind of guaranteed money. Dana maintains that the final figure should depend on pay-per-view numbers. Jones, meanwhile, has reportedly demanded an enormous fixed payment, So for now, White's position remains firm. There's nothing like that with Jones.
For my opinion, John Jones is the greatest of all the time for mixed martial art, and him moving up is going to be a good thing. He's a challenge that I will take and put it on my record. Would be a very good challenge for me, very good thing on my resume. But for this time, he's going to be the challenger. I am the champ. He's coming up and looking for me. So I'm ready anytime soon.
Sometimes, like, and it happened, like, the outcome of a fight can switch on a blink of an eye.
Yes.
You know, like
especially in a crazy exchange. Like that.
I remember Volkov against Derek Lewis. Volkov was winning the fight, and Lewis,
Yes.
boom! And it was beautiful.
That was crazy.
But it's just to show that sometimes when you get confidence is great for a fighter.
Yes.
But it's dangerous because there's nothing more dangerous for a fighter than success.
In fact, it's the complete opposite. White appears to be tired of the star's demands and, at this point, seems perfectly willing to go their separate ways. Schaefer's arrival changes the situation. Realizing that he may not be able to deal with a powerful negotiator like Dana White on his own, Jones appears to be making one more serious attempt to gain leverage over the UFC president. This time, he is trying to work with one of Dana's close associates and use that relationship to improve his position. But will it actually be enough to get the deal he wants?
This fight with Poirier is trending bigger than the fight with you and Conor on pay-per-view. Imagine what you and Conor would do in another fucking fight. Just saying. I'm just saying.
History shows that White rarely backs down, although Schaefer may still find a way to move things forward. Either way, we should find out soon. The UFC has grown into such a large and independent organization that it is not afraid of losing one fighter or even disrupting a highly anticipated matchup. Jones remains one of the greatest fighters in MMA history, but his long list of controversies, including doping issues, along with his lack of activity in recent fights, will not simply be forgotten. UFC management understands that Jones is in a difficult position, and they will likely use that leverage during negotiations.
Success makes you weak, man. Success makes you forget sometime. Then you're not, you know what I mean? It can be very dangerous. And I love Francis. I hope, like, I want Francis. Francis is making history, man. He's the one that can, you know, like, he's an amazing fighter, amazing human being, and he perhaps maybe one day they're gonna go like Rumble in the Jungle, Ali Foreman, you know, do that in Africa.
Wow.
That would be amazing. He could. He had that aura.
Time is also working against him. Fighters cannot compete at the highest level forever, and Jones knows he needs to secure his future. So, if the fight between Ngannou and Jones actually happens, who do you think would win? Former UFC middleweight champion Michael Bisping believes John Jones' chances against Francis Ngannou would largely depend on his ability to use his wrestling. If Jones cannot get Francis to the ground, Bisping doesn't see him winning.
On him.
Yeah.
But man, I want him to stay successful and never forget that no matter how dangerous, how good you are, you're in and especially in heavyweight, you only at 1 inches to lose everything. So you always need to be sharp because now everybody look at him, he's the target.
You know who I would have loved to see?
He says that regardless of Jones' reputation as a master of game planning and a highly versatile fighter, standing in front of Ngannou without being able to move him could lead to a knockout. Jones has also explained how he would approach the matchup. He said that avoiding Ngannou's knockout power would require speed, intelligence, and disciplined striking. Jones understands the danger and admits Francis has the ability to knock him out, but he believes that if he can survive the opening round, he can eventually find a way to win. Francis Ngannou has offered a very different view. At a pre-fight press conference, he made it clear that he was no longer interested in discussing Jones.
Fedor in his prime.
Ooh, that would have been good. Yeah.
Ooh.
Fedor was a very dangerous one too.
He was special.
Yes.
He was special.
But I think now, if you look at boxing, it's the same thing. Look Tyson Fury, how big he is. Look Francis. If I would go back in the gladiator time, he's the perfect human being, man.
I know.
He's like,
especially for the weight
specimen,
limit
man.
for 265, because Francis is a natural 275-pound guy.
He's like
cuts a little bit of weight.
You cannot have a more perfect
Impossible.
athletic athletic than Francis, and
tall, super strong.
Yes.
Muscular, but not too muscular. It's like everything's perfect.
He's
Ridiculous
just the
power.
perfect human being to be a killing machine. It's
Yes.
unbelievable. Unbelievable, you know what I mean?
Also, what Daniel Cormier said at the end of the fight, he said, strap a rocket to Francis's back because he's going to take off because he's got that Tyson-like aura where everyone's scared.
Ngannou said he had waited too long for the matchup after defeating Stipe Miocic, but when the opportunity failed to materialize, he moved forward. After Ngannou defeated Miocic last March, Jones publicly called for a fight with Francis for the UFC heavyweight title. Reports at the time claimed Jones wanted $50 million for the matchup, a figure the UFC was not willing to accept. However, if Jones' new promoter Schaefer can find a financial agreement that satisfies everyone, fans may finally get the chance to see these two heavyweight stars settle their differences inside the octagon. Oh, where does the UFC go from here? This is a difficult situation, and there doesn't seem to be an easy solution for Dana White. His credibility is taking a hit, and the next move could have major consequences. But what do you think will happen? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. And if you enjoyed the video, make sure to subscribe and turn on the notification bell. Until next time.